So it's September the 1st, and we are getting closer and closer to the end of 2016. And probably many of us have not even began to start on the New Year's resolutions that we made. Here's something I want to place in you right now. I've had conversations and thoughts about manna and how God provided manna daily for the people of Israel. And how we translate that into our daily lives is how he meets our daily needs. He's a daily bread kind of God. He provides for us daily what we need. But here's the deal, and here's where I want to stretch you. Here's where I challenge you to start thinking. Number one, when the children of Israel were in the wilderness was a place of preparation, not punishment. It was preparing them for the promised land and their next generation for the promised land. Now, here's what many of us can do. We can become satisfied with just manna. Just daily needs being met. When you come from cycles of poverty and watched your parents just pay bills and just get by, you can grow into that adult yourself. Many of us have lived our lives in a just enough place in saying to God, I just thank you, Father, for supplying my daily needs, which is great. But understand something. God is more than just a supplier of your daily needs. He's a God of abundance. But if all you see him as meeting your daily needs, then understand that's where you're going to always be. No matter what we're going through, we don't ever have to question whether God is faithful. He is. What we have to question is our preparedness for his faithfulness, for the purpose. Let me tell you what he did for the people of Israel. Right before they went to the promised land, and before the promised land was a Jericho wall, he stopped the manna. Not out of punishment, but out of preparation. He had to change their mindset. He had to change the taste in their mouth. Because in the promised land was fruit, milk and honey. But in the wilderness, and when they were in Egypt was the slave diet, which was onions and garlic. In the wilderness, it was manna. And now they're getting ready to go into the promised land, which was a whole nother diet altogether. Hear what I'm saying? So as he takes you to new levels in your life, he has to change your taste buds. And you know how hard it is for us to change our diets and our taste buds when we used to eating pork and all of that red meat and all that stuff every day. It's hard for us to change our desires, our taste buds. So what God has to do, as he did in the people of Israel, he had to cut off the manna, so that he could prepare them for the fruit in the promised land. God has to sometimes cut off that very thing that you are so tied to and so used to, so he can get you prepared and a desire in you for more. See, you keep thinking that what you're going through is about him punishing you or breaking you, when it's not. It's him getting you ready for the promised land. But many of us are stuck on manna. We're stuck on the familiar. We're stuck in those relationships that make us content. We're stuck in mediocrity. Now, I'm not saying we're not thankful for daily bread. We're not thankful for manna, but manna has its place. Remember, the wilderness is not The wilderness is never desirable, just tolerable. And what happens is a slave and a slave mentality can get content with the wilderness and get to a place where they just live in tolerable conditions. Hear what I'm saying? This is heavy. So you have to now, if in fact you believe God to be a God of abundance and a big God, then now you have to even change the way you pray to God. Stop praying that he just meets your needs. Stop saying stuff like, I just want my child to graduate college. Stop saying stuff like, if I just had a job, any job. Stop saying, I just want a man. I just want a woman. I just want to get married. Stop that. That's the wilderness and a slave mentality. The promised land mentality is the fruit mentality. And understand this, and I'm going to end with this. In order for fruit to grow, you must first plant the seed. And real faith comes out of waiting. When you plant, you have to wait for the fruit to grow. But if you're not planting, then that means you're not waiting, which means you're not living a fruitful life. So how do you define your promised land? Are you planting fruit, planting seeds to bear fruit? And can you wait? The sign of your growth is your ability to wait. God never takes you to higher levels in faith without waiting. So stop being stuck on manna and see God as the abundant big God that he is. Serve, care, and love. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.